Today we're marking 10 years since the death of Washington Redskin star Sean Taylor. The All-Pro safety was shot during a break-in in his Miami home back on November 26, 2007. He died the next day. Today, ESPN commentator and former player Louis Riddick reflected on Sean's loss. Riddick had scouted Taylor for the pro football draft while Taylor was still a standout player at Miami University.
This was something that for me was very personal, because this was early in my scouting career. I was kind of fresh off of playing. I only stopped playing about 3 or 4 years from the time that we started scouting Sean for the 2004 draft. And for me, it became very personal because he played a position that I played, and he was about 10, 15 pounds heavier than me. But as a guy who was a lot older than him, I used to look at him when I first started scouting him, and I used to think, this is who I always wished I could have been. And I remember when we drafted him, I told him that. And he kind of sat there and looked at me, and he said, well, what do you mean? I said, you don't understand that you have such a rare skill set that you could go down as being one of the greatest of all time. And in my time, my heroes were Ronnie Lott, Kenny Easley, Don Rogers, Steve Atwater, Dennis Smith, the guys who you watch NFL films now, their highlights are all over the place. So, Sean, you'll be better than all of those guys. And for me, to have him taken away at that age, it was so personal to me that it still chokes me up now talking about it. Yeah. Because, as Ryan said, this guy was changing his life around. Mm-hmm. And he was on his way to redefining how defensive backs play the game. And I think when you see now, to see his legacy kind of transcend generations, you see young guys come up who never even knew who he was. It's a shame to have him. Football lost something, losing Sean Taylor.
Redskins coach Joe Gibbs called him the best player, the best athlete on the entire team. Today there was an outpouring of tweets from those who knew Sean Taylor or followed his career. ESPN radio host Clinton Yates said, if I'm being honest, in a lot of ways, much of my love for football and overall as a fan died when Sean Taylor died. New York Jets safety Douglas Middleton said, legends never die. Rest in honor, Sean Taylor, 21. Bills offensive tackle Deion Dawkins posted this tweet. As a young'un, I watched this man show greatness every time he touched the field. Never forget. We'll be right back.